All right, real quick, announcement. Sneak peek is this Thursday. If you have not been posting about it, do it now. It's Tuesday. You can still post about it tonight. You got lots of team call pictures. Talk about it tomorrow. Do a last call for it. Y'all, I just hopped on randomly live to talk about, I don't even know what. I was just connecting everything in my life right now. But again, talking about coaching. So just find something that you're passionate about, that what we do as coaches, and talk about it. And because I promise you, every coach, I sound like a broken record, but it's just a proven fact. Every coach that was at Summit, the reason that they have so much traction going right now is because we're constantly talking about coaching. Not because we want to be that annoying person, but because we love each other and we love our relationships and the family and the friendships that we built. And so it's super important. Just make sure you guys are talking about it, even if it's just little tidbits of things that you're doing. And if you're not in the coaching sneak peek, put yourself in there. I want you all to go live again between tomorrow and Thursday so that those in that sneak peek can hear your stories and they connect with someone. Like, I may have a prospect in there and they may not connect with me, but they hear something from Julie or Melissa or Allie or Reagan or Regina, and they connect with them. And so, it's all about showing them how diverse we are as a team, but how much we are truly one strong unit. And that only happens, people get tired of hearing my voice. So it only happens if they hear from y'all in your stories. So, I can't stress it enough. I've truly become passionate about sneak peeks and what they do for our business because it allows us to reach even more people. So that's my announcements for today. Start learning about the Healthy Bet Challenge in the Challenge Tracker app so we can take advantage of that in September. Every challenge pack that gets bought in August, $5 more is going into the Healthy Bet pool. And essentially, it's just another tool for us to bring people in and the chance for them to win some money. So essentially, if they're using the Challenge Tracker app, I believe it's 3 Shakeologies and 5 workouts, or it's reversed, one or the other. And if they track those on the Challenge Tracker app, that's all they have to do. Then if they do that for 3-4 weeks, then they have the opportunity to win some part of the money. And if no one participates and only 3 people participate, and there's at least $1 million in there, and it's up to $3 million. So I don't know what the running total is right now, but heck, if 5 people, participate and those 5 people complete it, you're going to be super rich. If not, it could be $10, but the point is, it's $10 for doing something that we're doing already every single day. So that's my soapbox tonight. Let me share my screen and give the utmost attention. So Allie is a rock star. I love this woman. From teaching and coaching together to now getting to do life together on this business. And my roomie at Summit, I love that she has a passion for challenge groups and fitness and really can hit this topic home. So let me mute me and it's all you.
All right. Well, nice to see all of your bright, shining faces this nice evening. If you guys are on the call the week before the group of us went to Summit, I did another talk on challenge groups too, but that one was on creating sneak peeks to generate more traction, to get more people into your challenge groups. And so tonight, I'm super excited to talk about building connections with your challengers in order to build your business. So really investing in and showing up for your challengers is what I want to talk with you guys tonight about. So if your life has changed at all from Beachbody, I like to think we have an obligation to pay it forward because we want to create an experience that makes our challengers want to pay it forward. And so just kind of keep that in your mind as you're thinking about challenge groups. So I wanted to start off with this quote as it kind of nicely leads into this topic tonight. You don't build a business, you build people, and then the people build the business. And it's so important to invest in our challengers, in the people, to make it unforgettable and oftentimes a life-changing experience with us in our challenge groups. You never know when people are just, you're hitting them at the right moment, or something you say or something they connect with is just really going to kind of be that aha moment that's just going to turn things around in one area of their life or another, or maybe multiple areas. And so it's really cool to be a part of that. And that's why investing in the people and really getting to know them is so, so important. And when people have that kind of experience with you, they can't help but to want to join you and to want to pay it forward, which obviously ultimately benefits you if you're wanting to build your business. So invest in people. Okay, so challenge groups. This is where the magic can happen. There are many different ways to run a challenge group. I mean, a lot of people do daily posts that they have scheduled. You have a post maybe in the morning, every morning that's scheduled to go off. Maybe you've got one in the afternoon then, some days that you're checking in with. Some people now are doing daily challenges and putting more of the responsibility on challengers to, choose what challenge they're doing, or it's more in pictures. Other people are using the posts and the pictures that Beachbody provides for us in our online coach office. And I just want to kind of remind everybody that there's no one right way to run a challenge group, okay? Everybody has to do what feels right for them and what works for them. And do what works for your challengers too. If you're getting a lot of feedback and a lot of engagement in your groups, then rock on, sisters and brother Leon, if you're on this call. But if it's not, then don't be afraid to admit, geez, you know what, this isn't really working, and try tweaking it or try something new. And with this daily challenges that Monica had given us that idea to run challenge groups a little bit more like that. It's been fun to give that a whirl and see what works. And, myself personally, I've taken some of that and I'm using it, and other things didn't quite work for me. So I'm just kind of tweaking them. So just keep that in mind. There's no one right way. So don't ever feel like, am I doing this right? Because you just got to do what works for you. But I will say, no matter how a challenge group is run, they all should have one thing in common. Okay. And that one thing is that we need to show up for the people who need us. Okay, show up and be there. Help inspire a transformation. That is our purpose in this. Okay, but also keep in mind that transformations and results look different to everyone. Okay, obviously the biggest transformation that we all see and that we all recognize is a physical transformation. But there's also other transformations, whether it be your self-confidence, your relationship with food, your mental or emotional transformation. Okay, there's no certain one transformation. So if you're just starting out and you don't have a visible transformation, or whatever, I just don't want you to be discouraged. And I'll just use myself as an example too. I personally don't have a big physical transformation. And so sometimes, especially when I first started, I was like, geez, this would be a lot easier if I had a bigger story to tell, or a more visible story to tell. But I've had transformations in other areas, especially with my self-confidence and leadership and all those sorts of things, that all has come full circle. And every single experience, even leading calls like this, you can't help but just those little things that help you build your own personal transformation. So keep that in mind, that when you're working with challengers, if you don't, if they're not seeming to have results that they can see, that you can tap into other areas to help them see that they really are having results and really are having transformations in other areas too. So results and transformations all look different. All right, so because of this, we need to adopt the mindset of no challenger left behind. And those of us who are from George W. days, no child left behind, but no challenger left behind. We want to have that mindset. At Summit, we heard Allie Upton talk about this topic, and it was so exciting, and I had many light bulb moments, which is why I love to talk about this topic. But these things that I'm going to talk about were some of her best practices for truly taking care of her challengers and truly connecting with them and going just beyond the 21 days or the 30 days or the 60 days or 90 days or however long you choose to run your challenge groups. So the first one she talked about was just right off the bat, asking challengers, what does success look like to you? Okay, just straight out, ask them bluntly, because then you can gear your group towards their personal goals, especially if you don't have a huge group. I mean, and even if you do, it's nice to take kind of a poll and just see where people are, looking to succeed, or what their end game is, what success would look like to them. So if you have challengers that are more geared toward, they just want to transform their eating, or want to get their clean eating under control, or learn how to meal prep more, because maybe they don't have tons of weight to lose. They're just looking to tone up, and a lot of that is diet. Then obviously you're going to gear your posts and your challenge groups, more toward great recipes or different meal plans they could try, or hey, try this, try substituting this ingredient for this. So you can really tailor it to fit what they are aiming for. And that makes it all part of that more personal experience. The second one is to make challengers take goodbye pics. All right. And that would obviously be their before pictures. It's kind of fun to call them goodbye pictures because you're saying goodbye to that former self in one way or another. And Allie was saying that she really makes them send to her their stats. It's not optional in her groups. And I found that interesting because, you want to kind of be respectful, and if people aren't comfortable with that. But she says, otherwise, how can I help them if I don't know where they're starting? I don't know what their end game is. And so she sets mile markers for them to achieve based on what their personal, what their personal stats are. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing to keep in mind. The next thing is to ask your challengers to set aside planned and focused time for this group. Make sure that they know that this is something they're committing to. This is like, committing to having a meeting every day at a certain time. It doesn't have to be a long meeting, but know that they are expected to show up and that you're going to be looking for them. And if they're not there, you're going to notice. Okay. But in the same sense, you need to then be predictable by posting at the same time in the group each day, because they're going to become reliant on knowing, hey, at between 5:30 and 6, Coach Rogo, Allie's going to post, whatever it may be, the motivational thing for the day or my challenge for the day. And they're going to be looking for it because they know that that's when you're going to post. So if you expect that of them to be checking in and setting that time aside, then try to be consistent and make sure that you can be reliable in that same sense too. And then this I found interesting too. She said to put some ownership on your challengers. And for all of us busy people, which I know we all are, especially all of you guys going back to school now, this kind of makes you feel a little bit relieved that you don't have to be available around the clock. Okay, she was saying, don't be available all day. Okay, don't comment all day. Don't be a 24/7 coach in your group. All right, check in 2 times a day for like 30 minutes each, once in the morning and once in the evening, where you can comment, have conversations with people, answer questions, and you're there. Because then you're going to help create that sense of community where they're going to be helping each other. Okay, if you're not always jumping in, somebody else is going to jump in and answer a question, and they're going to be interacting with each other. And that kind of makes, again, personalizes that experience and makes them all invested in the group and invest in themselves. All right, so obviously we all have had challengers that go silent or that go MIA. And you're like, what the heck? Like, I'm posting, I'm doing things, I'm trying to pull them in, but they're just silent. I don't know what happened to them. So these are kind of some rules of re-engagement. So when that happens to us in challenge groups, what do? Do we just let them go on and say, oh, well, I guess she quit. I guess she's not into it. Okay. No, that's not what we're going to do. Okay. You want to reach out and connect again with their why. And most people are really motivated by emotions in some way. And so if you can really help them tap into why they started this, obviously they trusted you. They trusted you enough to take the leap to commit, not only financially, but also time commitment to doing this. They want it. They've got goals. They're a real person and they are there wanting this so badly, but for some reason, something is blocking that. There's friction there. And so helping them reconnect with their why is really important. You want to ask, what is the number one thing that's stopping you? Like, why did you start this and what's stopping you? What is it? Whether it be they can't get up in the morning, whether it be they don't have enough time. If some of these things you're hearing, then you can help them find strategies to overcome them. One of which would be to recommend a personal development book or a podcast that could really help them. Just to use kind of a timely one for many of us who went to Summit, if you're hearing, I can't get up in the morning. I thought I was going to be able to get my workout in and drink my shake and everything in the morning, but I just can't. I don't have enough time and I can't get up any earlier. Hello, ding, 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 miracle morning. Okay. I think any of us who have been reading that just are so super amped up about getting up in the morning. It's almost sick. I'm just going to be real. So, but anyway, that would be a great book. I'm recommending it to people anyway, but if that is something that people are struggling with, that would be a perfect recommendation. And there's so many other wonderful, awesome books. And we have a whole list of them on our team website. If you are wondering, you can always post in there and we can all give recommendations if you've got a challenger that you're wanting to help in that sort of a way, regardless of the issue that they're dealing with. So But really, you want to be the coach that you would want in that moment. Okay, so picture how they must feel. They committed to this, and they're feeling probably a little bit sheepish, a little bit embarrassed, a little overwhelmed. Okay, what do you want to hear when you're in that situation? I'm guaranteeing you that all of us at some point in our life have felt like that, even if it's not with a fitness program. You know, whenever you commit to anything and then you kind of pull back, there's always those moments of just embarrassment, really. So how do you want somebody to handle that with you? And try to be that person for your challenger that's struggling. Okay, so your main goal in this, when you're reaching out, is to get a response. That's all you want. You want them to reconnect with you because, you know, they're pushing away, they've been silent, and you just want them to get a response. So when someone goes MIA, you want to make sure you notice and you catch it after 1 to 2 days. Yes, friends, I said 1 to 2 days. All right, you do not let it go for 1 to 2 weeks. And I know, hands up, if you've been guilty about letting a challenger go. You just think, oh, I don't know what happened. You tried to maybe reach out a little bit, but they're just not engaged, and so you just let them go. Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say that I definitely have done that in some of my groups. All right, and this was something that was so key with our speaker, Allie Upton at Summit. She just said that she does not let that happen. After 1 to 2 days, she reaches out. And like I said, it's super easy to let it go, but just remember there's a person, a human being with goals and struggles behind the name that you're just seeing in your Facebook group. And so you really need to make sure that you're reaching out and trying to connect with them sooner than later. So if they're not responding via your maybe Facebook message or whatever it may be, you're going to try another mode of communication. Okay, maybe you send them an email. Maybe you text them because you've got their phone number instead. Maybe you send them a voice memo. Okay, we can do that not only on Messenger, but we can do that via text and other ways as well. And maybe they'll respond to one of those. But you know what? At some point, if you've reached out by 2, 3, 4 different modes, just trying to connect, and hey, girl, just want to check in with you. It doesn't have to be anything serious and long and crazy because you don't want to scare them and make them think you're a freak-a-leak or something. But you just want them to know that you care and you miss them. You notice that they're not there. But if you've tried and you're still getting nothing, you always want to leave the door open, but then you just have to let it go and just leave the ball in their court, and you need to move on and work and be there be present for people who are there also and wanting to meet you halfway. So a couple of final thoughts. You really want to keep in mind when you're doing this that you just want to connect beyond the group. Okay, so yes, we've all used sendable or scheduled posts in our challenge groups to make it easy. Yes, we post live sometimes too, but beyond those kind of group posts, you want to connect beyond that. Okay, don't hide behind your cell phones and your computers and just do those kind of, I don't want to say generic posts, but they are bigger, more public group posts. Connect with humans. Remember who you're working with. These are all people, again, that have a struggle, that are trusting you to help them along this journey, along this transformation. They're feeling vulnerable. They don't quite know oftentimes, where they're going to end up. And so really connect with them and really remember who's on the other end of these names that we all see popping up in our Facebook groups. You want to call and meet them for coffee if you live in the same area. If they're a friend or an acquaintance, reconnect with them. Do a workout together. See if you can get them to come over and do it with you. I keep thinking of Tara's fun dance videos that she's doing, and now she's got her kids joining her too. Like, invite somebody over and say, hey, let's do this together. And that kind of can re-energize people and help them remember that there's other people that are going through the same struggles, and it's not easy for any of us to do, but we're all in this together. And one last thing too, and I totally forget to do this all the time, but in your groups, cast the vision of submitting the results when they're done. You want to post and share the similar success stories that Beachbody has online and stuff. When they have these big transformation stories of people who have certain things that have happened to them, share those stories, because you never know when somebody's going to really connect with that person and really connect with that story and want to do that too. I mean, they could win money in the Beachbody Challenge, obviously would be the ultimate thing. I mean, hence that's why they're called challenge groups for us, because that's ultimately what they're looking to do, obviously, besides just transform for their personal health and all that kind of stuff. But they really can win other things, and it's a fun challenge, and a lot of people are motivated by that. So try to remember to give them that vision and to remind them of that opportunity that they can do that. What else? Oh, the last thing I just wanted to do is end with this quote. And this was one of the quotes, and maybe one of you guys who were also at Summit can remind me who said this, but I had it written down. Our eyes should be drawn to the light in the darkness, not frustrated that the darkness exists. And I thought that was a really neat thing to think about. You probably have to read it again and look at it again. I'll say it one more time. Our eyes should be drawn to the light in the darkness, not frustrated that the darkness exists. So instead of being frustrated and irritated when our challengers disappear or go silent, look for the little ways that we can reel them back in with all those little personal touches that are going to make their experience unforgettable, and ultimately perhaps make them want to join you on your own team or pay it forward in another way, because that's what we want. We want to spread this journey of health and spread, all this to anybody. It doesn't, of course you want them to love Beachbody and want to join us, but, really as long as they pay it forward in some way, that's ultimately what we're looking for. So that's all I got, friends. Anybody have any questions?
OMG, that was excellent, Allie. I just want to reiterate a couple of things that I loved that she touched on. The first thing was really, I loved this training with Allie because as a coach for 4 years, I've run a lot of challenge groups. I've run a lot of successful challenge groups and I've run a lot of failed challenge groups. And I'm just as guilty as the next coach of letting those days go by or letting those challengers hide or fall into the cracks because they've gone silent, and just thinking that, maybe there's just something's going on and they're just not really wanting to do it. But I love that she said connecting with humans. You guys, that inevitably is what we're doing as coaches. These people are more than a challenge pack. They're more than Success Club points. And nothing and I get upset every time I talk about this, nothing not just infuriates me, but breaks my heart more than a coach bringing someone in who's really relying on them. They don't know me from Adam and Eve. And yes, you may be in my group and I may be the one posting, but at the end of the day, they came for you. Something about your story, something about who you are, something about your personality connected you with them. And so to see coaches just drop challengers like it's a hot potato, it just breaks my heart, because at the end of the day, these are people who are wanting us to change their lives, and you have that power. And I think sometimes we don't realize how much power we truly have. We think, no one notices if I don't post, or no one notices if I don't tag my challenger in this, particular post and they don't see it, or I don't comment on other people's stuff. But in reality, they really do. They pay attention. And, we all have challengers who hide. And I talk to people all the time who they aren't active at all in my challenge groups. But that doesn't mean I discredit them, because I guarantee you the conversations I'm having with them behind the scenes of, I'm watching everything you guys are saying. I just I'm uncomfortable to post, or I feel like and even here recently, over the past couple of weeks, I've had several challengers I feel like everyone's going to look down on me or be frustrated with me. And I'm like, honey, that is what this group is all about. And in that same training that we're talking about with Allie, it was so funny when she was saying, don't be a 24/7 coach. Because you guys, if you know me, whether it's as your partner in crime walking alongside you in this business or in this challenge group, I am guilty of being a 24/7 coach and not allowing those leaders to step up in that group, and not commenting immediately when someone posts, and allowing other challengers to step up and fellowship that leadership. But at the same time, it was so funny where she was like, you have a challenger who will message you stuff, maybe it's a recipe, or maybe and I have this one challenger in particular who the past couple of weeks she's done this, and I started implementing what Allie said. She messaged me a recipe that she was trying. Hey, look at this recipe I tried, really good. And I noticed she didn't post it in the group. And so Allie says when they do that, to send them a message, oh my gosh, that's really great. You should post about that in the group, because I'm sure somebody else is going to really enjoy that recipe. Mm-hmm. Or when they said, I'm really struggling, or I'm really frustrating with this, A, B, C, or D. I totally understand. You should really post about that in the group. And I guarantee you're going to see other people are struggling with the same things. But people are so afraid to be vulnerable because they think that they're being judged. And if there's anything I've fostered in my challenge groups, is that it is a judgment-free zone. I don't care who you are, where you came from, what your story is, what bad day you had, what bad week you had. We are there to truly help support each other. And so I started doing that with my challengers because I was finding they were sending me messages more and more, but not posting in the group. And everything that they were asking me, I knew someone else was going through. And so when they do that, she will literally, or if they message her and it's outside of the hours where she's checking in with her challenge group, she will say something along the lines of, you should post that in the group. And eventually they're going to get the hint that they need to be posting these things in the group and not sending you the message, because that's where you're fostering that community. And you guys, the challenge groups are truly the bread and butter of what we do as coaches, because that's where our leadership is developed. That's where our coaches are developed. 9 times out of 10, every single successful coach had a successful challenge group. But that's not to say that we haven't failed along the way. Every single coach on here that's run their own challenge group at some point in time has had one that's flopped. But you have to be willing to, that quote resonates so much because it can be super frustrating. But you guys, I promise you, just because they're not posting doesn't mean I'm going to stop posting. I don't care if not a single person posts. I promise you I'm going to finish out that 30 days. And I will be in there every single day posting, hoping that one day one of those posts or something I say is going to inspire those challengers and to maybe get back on board. And so you have that power. You have the ability to do that. And I think sometimes as coaches, we take this opportunity lightly. And it's not something to be taken lightly, because you guys have that power to, I think I'm frozen. You have that power to change someone's life. And so I just want you to remember that, because heck, I know life gets busy, y'all. I'm living it right now and in the trenches with you. I mean, you guys heard me say I literally just got home at 8:15. I got to check in with my challengers tonight. And I'll be honest, I wasn't able to be present with them during the day today because I was in training all day long. But I've seen my other challengers in there, and that's almost good for me, because if not, I was in there answering every single question immediately when it was posted. Because most of us on this call have been teachers or mothers, and we know sometimes we got to let them go off the edge just a little bit to help build them up and make them stronger. And y'all, this is catching fire. Like, I am so passionate about this book. It is not even funny. Like, people think I'm crazy when I tell them I literally schedule myself to get up at 3:45 in the morning every morning because I want to. Not because I have to, but because I want to. I could sleep in until, I don't have to be to work till 8:15. I could sleep in until 7:30 if I really wanted to. But I am truly enjoying getting myself up at 3:45 and making that routine, so much so that this is literally catching on with my challengers. I've had several challengers like, what is this book that you're reading? I really feel like I need to do something in the morning. And I'm like, bing, 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 like life changing. I'm going to use her as a prime example, and I'm going to call her out right now. She's probably going to hate me, but I don't care. Melissa has been a coach with me for, 2 years, 3 years now. And I have always preached to this girl about how much mornings will help her be successful. And for 3 years, she's been I'm going to work out at 10 o'clock. I'm going to work out the very last thing before I go to bed. I'm going to do all this stuff before I go to bed. There's nothing wrong with that. But I knew how much it would change her life and her energy and her just everything if she could get it done in the morning. And when I tell you the message that she sent the other day to our group that was like, y'all, I'm actually enjoying getting up in the morning and working out. I was like, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Like, winning life right there. That was winning life to me, because literally from this book. And I know she can tell you, like, she struggled just as much as the rest of us with personal development. So the fact that she was like, guys, I like getting up in the morning. Like, this girl is not a morning person at all. She needs like 5 cups of coffee. So I like, truly, that was the epitome of going, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So you just have to change your mindset. I was the same way. So I like preaching to the choir right now, but it's just because this book, like I can't even tell you guys how much it is in 2 weeks has changed my life. Like his research that he did on sleeping and and I'm guilty of this. And so it like literally light bulb went off. How many of us are guilty of going to bed at 11 o'clock at night and knowing we got to get up at 6 or 7 or whatever time, being like, I'm going to be so exhausted tomorrow. That is the last thing that you put into your brain before you get up. So what is the first thing that you're going to be thinking about the next morning? Well, the fact that you're exhausted and you're tired because you're telling your brain that you're exhausted and tired. So he did it where he was doing it with 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And no matter how many hours of sleep he got, if that was the last thing he told himself, when he woke up, that's how he felt. So then he tried it where he said, you know what? I'm going to say I'm going to wake up. I'm going to feel refreshed tomorrow. And it's going to be a great day. And he did it with 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and whatever. And it did not matter how many hours he slept. When he went to bed with that positive thought, tomorrow was going to be a great day, he was going to wake up and feel refreshed, then that's how he woke up. And you guys, I am living at 3:45. Like I tell you, am I a little tired right now? And could I use some energized? Absolutely. But do you know that every night this week I've not gotten to bed until 11:30? And yet I've still gotten up at 3:45 and I'm still sitting here and not a freaking zombie. And it's because it's whatever. It's like drinking the Kool-Aid. Like Julie talks about drinking the Kool-Aid all the time. I am drinking the Miracle Morning Kool-Aid like nothing else. I've ordered 2 other Miracle Morning books. Like I know Regina's ordered another Miracle Morning book. Julie ordered another. Like life changing. Allie ordered it. So if you have not read this book, I don't care what personal development book you're reading right now. Like I'm that teacher that never says don't finish a book. I am like, drop it right now and go Amazon Prime it to your house and read it. And I promise you by next week, you're going to be going, Monica, I don't know what this did. I mean, Allie can attest to it. I know how much she struggled with getting structure and consistency into her new role as being at home after being in the classroom and on the field for the past several years. And I've seen changes in her just in the past 2 weeks of reading this book. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Like,
I love my morning routine.
like I'm telling y'all, and it's the same thing every single morning. I wake up and go, and it doesn't matter what I had. If y'all saw the text messages I was sending our little support group last week of how awful my week was last week, like 3 days in a row. And every day I went to bed and I said, you know what, tomorrow's going to be a great day. And I even woke up and said it was going to be a great day. Did not mean I was not cussing like a sailor in the middle of the day because it was just going awry. But I let it go. I had to bless and release and wake up the next day. And I say all that to say, like, it all ties in. That energy, that fire, that fuel ties into your challenge groups. If you are, excuse my language, but if you're half-assing it and you're going in there and you're like, I'm just going to schedule my post every single morning and go in and tag my challengers, and you're not being present with them, it's going to be noticeable. They see that. They notice it. They get that energy. But if you go in with that fire and that passion of why you love Beachbody, why you love these workouts, what it's done for you, I've seen so many like coaches now going live every day in their challenge groups. Going live, guys. And I don't care. This is what I love. I don't care if you're in my challenge group, if you're in Allie's challenge group, if you're in Julie's challenge group. There is nothing like the power of going live. And Reagan, I'm about to call her out. Like, she can tell you she was against going live for the longest. And I made one of our one-on-one calls. I was like, ma'am, I'm going to call you out, and your challenge is you have to go live by tomorrow. I don't care what you talk about. I don't care if you talk about your kids, if you're whatever, but you need to talk about something. And now I get on, and it's almost like every single day I see a live video from her. And am I not – I'm about to unmute. Am I not lying when you say that now you are addicted and you love doing live videos?
I am, and sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't because people are tired of hearing me.
Exactly. And so you guys, that energy, but I guarantee you people are watching her and going, this girl is like she's on crack every day, like because she's just excited and loving it and loves talking to people. And, you know, it's the same way with our challenge groups. Go live in there. Tara's been doing a great job. That's why she was the coach of the week this week. I've seen her going live in our challenge groups. I've seen her going live on her Facebook wall. She's been putting herself out there. That stuff is contagious. That's what our challenge groups are about. That's what we do as coaches. And so I don't care where you're at in your business, if you're a brand new coach or if you've been in this business for 4 years. Like, your energy, everyone is going to feed off of your energy. And so Allie and I had this discussion because she was like, I kind of already talked about challenge groups before we went to Summit. And I was like, I know you did, but I also know how passionate you are about them. And I also know the tools and the things that we took away from Summit and the light bulb moments that we had with as many challenge groups as we've done. Like, there were things, again, that as a 4-year coach, I went, guys, I got to change my mindset. I got to get out of that rut of doing the same thing. Jill can tell you, her and I had this headbutting last year because I was I need to do the same thing every single challenge group. And do I sometimes get stuck in that rut? Absolutely. And so it takes changing those things and going, hey, I need to try something different. And again, guys, if it fails, it's not a failure. You learn from it, you grow, and you move forward. So, and end scene. I feel like that's all I got in me right now. So questions, comments, concerns, ideas. This is a great time, guys. This is our round table right now. Like, this is where, if you've been a challenge group, and again, I'm going to get on my soapbox. If you've been in my challenge group for 500 million challenge groups, fly your wings. I don't care if you got one person in there. I don't care if you pair up with another coach and you got 2 people in there. Do it on your own just once to feel that power, to see what it's like to hold those people in your hand every single day. I promise you, you're going to change how you look at your business. You're going to change how you look at who you talk to. So do it. It's scary. No one wants to do it. Hell, it was scary becoming a coach. You never knew what was going to happen. You didn't know what was going to happen with your business. You didn't know what was going to happen when you said yes to do 21-day fix. And now look at you. You're sitting here 30 pounds lighter and loving life. So everything you do in life is scary, but you have to be willing to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to. Because if not, you're not going anywhere. And no one wants to not go anywhere. Am I right?
Amen.
Amen. I'm on one. It was the wine. Totally the wine. Gave me the second wind. So round table. What is it, something that you have taken away from challenge group you've been in? Or maybe it's something that you want to try. Throw it out there. Like, I'm going into teacher mode right now too. Like, I want to hear other ideas. I want to hear maybe something that you have that you're like, I kind of want to try this, but I don't know if it wants to work. Unmute. Get the popples out of my videos.
That's not a popple, that's a troll.
Oh,
I told you.